오늘 여러분께 세상이 왜 불공평한지 말씀드리겠습니다.
Now you have to watch this quickly because it's a fairly fast animation. So here's what happens. Everybody starts out with $10. There's 1,000 people playing the game. Everybody starts out with $10. I have $1, you have $1. I flip a coin. If I get heads, you give me $1. If I get tails, I give you $1. We go around and we trade with everyone. Okay, so the first thing that happens when people start to trade is this. Normal distribution develops, right? Because some people lose and some people win. It's just like the Galton board that I showed you. Okay, so you keep playing. People start to stack up at 0. Watch. Because they lose 10 times in a row. Bang, they're done. The bottom graph is a graph of the entropy of the distribution, which increases as the game continues. Because at the beginning it's maximally ordered, right? Everybody has exactly the same amount. Now it's being distributed. Same equations apply to the distribution of gas into a vacuum. Well, what happens? Now someone, there are people out there at the $50 range or at the $60 range or at the $70 range. You keep playing it. Well, eventually what happens if you play it right to its conclusion is that one person ends up with all the money. So that's, to those who have everything, more will be given. From those who have nothing, everything will be taken. That's the law of economic productivity. It's called it's the Matthew principle, and it's actually an economic principle that was derived from a saying in the New Testament.
무릇 있는 자는 받아 넉넉하게 되되 없는 자는 그 있는 것도 빼앗기리라. 이와 같은 수학적이고 직관적인 사실은 부가 한 사람에게 집중되는 자연적 현상을 설명하고 있습니다. 따라서 부자와 가난한 자의 출현은 자연적 필연에 따른 결과입니다.
And so what happens is if you run this simulation, you have people flip a coin to determine how they're going to trade, then this is what happens. So the first thing that happens is you generate a normal distribution because some people win and some people lose, and most people sort of half win and half lose, but some lose continually and some win continually, and so it turns into a normal distribution. That's fine, but then when the game continues to play, then what happens is that people start to stack up on the zero end of things and a tiny proportion at the upper end. And if you play the game right to cessation, which is what you do if you play Monopoly, for example, somebody ends up with all the money. And the funny thing about playing Monopoly, as you know, if you've played Monopoly multiple times, is that the probability that you'll win continually across games is pretty low. There's a lot of randomness in Monopoly, and if you play with the same 5 people 10 games, the probability is pretty good you're not going to win more than 2 games. So there's chance elements that come into play that determine the outcome. And so anyways, I was thinking about this a little bit more last night. And somebody asked me, I was talking about it with somebody, and he asked me if the Pareto distribution was a necessary consequence of the fact that production is, number 1, measured, and number 2, social. And I thought that was a really interesting question. It's like, do you get a Pareto distribution every time?
20%의 사람들이 전체 부의 80%를 가지게 되는 결과는 현실적일지라도 이해하기 어렵습니다. 분명히 창의성과 IQ는 정규 분포를 따릅니다. 흔히 수능에서 보여지는 1부터 9등급까지 고르게 분포되어 있는 것이죠. 하지만 중요한 점은 그 능력이 정규 분포일지라도 분배 결과는 파레토 분포를 따른다는 것입니다.
I'm still thinking it through what it means exactly. Now, here's an interesting thing. You know that IQ is normally distributed, and it's a good predictor of long-term performance. And conscientiousness is normally distributed, and it's a good predictor of long-term performance. And openness is also normally distributed, and it's a good predictor of creative behavior. But creative output is not normally distributed. It's distributed in this weird Pareto distribution that's indexed here. And I showed you that with the Creative Achievement Questionnaire most specifically because that provides a really concrete example of it. So it looks like the capacity to think creatively might be normally distributed. That would be openness, say, and intelligence. But the consequence of that turns into this strange Pareto distribution. And the Pareto distribution with regards to creative achievement was best, the catastrophe of it.
그 이유는 바로 성과에 있습니다.
Creative output ends up being measured in some way. And even if you can conceptualize it, so because it might be, the idea might be that anything that you can assign monetary value to is, first of all, is something you can measure, because assigning monetary value to something is in fact measuring it, right? You're measuring it with money. And then as soon as you assign a monetary value to it, you can trade it. And it also takes on some aspects of a zero-sum game. And most of the things that we talked about with regards to the production of Pareto distributions were measured entities and were trading games as well.
여러분이 하는 모든 것을 경제적 가치로 환원해 본다면 여러분은 앞에서 나온 파레토 분배 게임에 참여하고 있는 것입니다. 사회에서 활동을 하며 경제적 보상을 받습니다. 그렇기에 파레토 분배 게임을 하고 있는 것이겠죠. 누군가는 실패해도 계속 노력하며 언젠가 찾아올 성공을 기대하며 성공을 성공하기도 하고 누군가는 실패해서 아무것도 하지 않을 것이고 누군가는 분노하며 남 탓을 할 것입니다.
In some sense is best indexed by the fact that if I remember correctly, 70% of people who complete the Creative Achievement Questionnaire, which indexes lifetime creativity, score 0. So, and 0 is a strange number. You know, 0 isn't like other numbers. And part of the reason for that is that it's difficult to do anything with nothing. So, you know, if you buy a stock and the price sinks to like 2 cents a stock, you're still alive. But if the price sinks to 0, you're done, right? That's it. The game's over. And that's the thing about 0. When you're hit 0, or maybe when you're at 0, the game is over.
이게 세상이 돌아가는 방식이야. 이런 말로 인해서 우리는 불공평하다고 분노하겠죠. 하지만 정말 냉정하게 생각해보면 이건 마치 지구가 둥글기 때문에 해가 뜨고 지는 것을 탓하는 것과 같습니다.
How a Monopoly game starts, roughly speaking, but you could say this is how you would set up the world if you wanted perfect equity, if you wanted everybody to have the same outcome, everybody would have the same amount of money. In this case, it's $10. And so it's dollars along the bottom axis, and it's number of players along the left-hand axis. And you can think about this as a Monopoly game. Everybody starts with the same amount of money, and then you start trading randomly. And you know, if you have $10 and you're trading $1 each trade, if you have enough people, some unlucky person is going to end up with $0 after 10 trade. And if they end up with $1 after 9 trades, they still have a chance of recovery. It's a low chance, but it's not 0. But once they hit 0, they're out of the game.
세상이 부루마블 게임과 같다면 분배의 문제를 마주하게 됩니다. 19세기 자본주의 사회가 전개되었을 때 공산주의 진영에서는 다음과 같이 비판했습니다. 많이 가진 사람은 더 많이 가지고 적게 가진 사람을 착취하며 이는 서로 심화된다. 그렇기 때문에 자본주의는 파멸한다. 하지만 공산주의가 틀렸다는 사실은 역사로 증명되었습니다.
So even because I mentioned to you, for example, that number of basketball hoops successfully managed by NBA players is Pareto distributed, but that's also, those are measurable with money because of course you get paid to do it, and it is a social game, and so maybe it is an inevitable consequence of trading in a social game that you produce Pareto outcomes. And then I was trying to figure out why, and I've always had this suspicion that what happens to people is that as they move towards 0, positive feedback loops get set up so they're more likely to hit 0. And as they move away from 0, positive feedback loops get set up so that they're increasingly more likely to move away from 0.
여러분들의 자기 개발과 혁신을 통해 성공을 향해서 노력할 수 있는 긍정적 피드백 순환은 여러분과 사회가 같이 만들어 나가는 것입니다. 반면에 사회가 개인을 움직이게 하는 세상, 사회가 개인을 통제하는 세상, 그런 세상에서 개인은 기만당하는 것과 마찬가지겠죠. 분노는 삶을 파괴적으로 만들어 영으로 이끌어갑니다. 사유재산이 없는 사회, 모두에게 기본소득을 주는 사회, 인간의 자연적 경향성과 세상의 자연적 이치를 거스르는 유토피아입니다. 불평등이 없는 사회는 부의 엔트로피가 전혀 증가하지 않는, 다른 말로 말하자면 어떠한 발전도 없는 세상일 뿐이겠죠.